Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We are very excited to share some of ClearPoint Strategy's latest innovations, our workspaces and dashboards. I'm happy to introduce RJ Massinio, one of ClearPoint Strategy's account executives, who will be walking you through these features and how they can be utilized in the platform. The audience will be muted for the duration of this webinar, but we encourage you to submit any questions in the Q&A tab. Without further delay, RJ, I'll go ahead and pass things on to you.
Awesome. Thank you for the intro, Jenna, and thank you for everyone who joined here. As Jenna mentioned, I'm an account executive here with the ClearPoint team. I have been here for roughly 3 years and actually worked closely directly with our clients for about 2 years. And really, I'm super excited to not only show you what ClearPoint has to offer, but to unveil these 2 new features we're rolling out. We're really excited about these. We really do think these are going to be game changers for organizations looking to manage their strategy within a system. So let's go ahead and jump in. I am just going to start with a quick introduction of what today is going to look like. Really, here I'm going to start with some intro slides. I just want to familiarize all of you on this call with ClearPoint, who we work with, what we aim to do. I'll talk a little bit more about kind of the workspaces and dashboards within this slideshow, but then I'm actually going to jump into the ClearPoint system, walk through workspaces and dashboards to start. Then we'll look at a few other items within the ClearPoint system as well. And finally, we'll wrap up with the Q&A. So I'll go ahead and address any questions that come through in that Q&A chat box here at the end. Just diving into it, I did want to take a look kind of at who we work with and what we aim to do here. So you're going to see some organizations on the screen here. We do work with organizations across all industries, and it does not matter. Like if you're sitting on this webinar and you're like, oh, we're completely new to strategy and performance management, or if you're on this webinar and you're like, we've been doing this for years, I think that there's valuable insights you can gain out of this. And we do want to partner with you regardless of where you're at in that journey to help make improvements. So you could just be getting started. You could have been doing this for years. We really want to be your partner throughout this journey going forward. And then on the right-hand side, I did just want to highlight kind of 2 pieces over here. So these are some badges that ClearPoint has won through G2. It's a Yelp for software that allows organizations to rank vendors on certain criteria and then assign these badges accordingly. We're going to see here the 2 I just like to highlight is users most likely to recommend. Our platform is tremendously easy to use to manage any of your strategic plans, key metrics, key projects, health improvement plans, whatever those plans may be. Really, really easy system to do that. And then best support as well. We really do approach this as a partnership with you all throughout your strategic planning and execution journey. And that's a reason we won this best support. We do a tremendous job at getting organizations up and running within our system, as well as providing the ongoing support they need to ensure they're successful as they move forward. Really, what we aim to do is we aim to automate your entire reporting process. A lot of the organizations that come to us are either using Microsoft Suite or an in-house system. And typically what the process for generating valuable insights look like when you're using something like that is you have to go and gather data from different members across the organization, which can be tremendously time consuming if there isn't a set place that is housing all of this. You ultimately will need to clean that data, provide analysis on that data, write the actual report, and writing a report that's actionable and insightful can be really, really time consuming if you don't have something that's going to automatically populate with that information. Finally, you need to format and distribute it to the relevant members of your organization or external parties like board members, funders, or the public. This can be a really, really difficult process to execute well. We aim to automate this entire process to make it as efficient as possible. And what this enables you to do is 1, have actionable and insightful reports whenever you come into the ClearPoint system that automatically update. The other thing that enables you to do is you can see the strategies and tactics that you're employing. And if they happen to not be working, you can see which levers you're able to pull and then make the changes needed to kind of swing it in the right direction. So this is really what we aim to do. And this is what we're going to look at when I jump into the system itself. As far as how we're able to accomplish this, I mentioned we really view this as a partnership with you all in your strategic execution and performance management journey. All of the features we're going to look at, or 99% of them, come directly from what our clients are experiencing and what would help them the most when it comes to actually executing on their strategies. So what we'll look at is a few automation features that enable us to really easily pull information directly into the ClearPoint system, enables us to populate reports automatically so that they're always updated with current information. We have an artificial intelligence baked within our tool. So in a lot of different areas within our tool, we can actually use this artificial intelligence to generate insights based on how we're performing. Here we have strategy management. The thing I just want to highlight here is it does not matter if you necessarily have like a strategic plan or you're just managing some metrics or projects. Doesn't matter what framework you may be using to kind of drive strategy execution and performance management. We are able to track this in our system and customize our system around what you're tracking rather than the other way around. And finally, we want you to have better results. What this means is really streamlining your processes so you're not bogged down with strategic reporting or reporting processes in general. You're actually focused on execution. With that, I did want to introduce two of the new features we're going to be walking through. So one of them is Workspaces. And the reason this came about is a lot of people that we partner with were kind of seeing, or people that come to us do not have kind of one central location where people in their organization can go and see all of the necessary things that are pertinent to them when it comes to strategic reporting. So here, this Workspace is really a personal strategy hub where you're able to see all of the key items that are necessary to you specifically. They're really, really easy to navigate, super flexible and customizable depending on how you want to view and interact with the information. They're meant to foster collaboration across the team. And ultimately, rather than have you navigating to different places to get this key information, we want to put it all on one page to save time and really drive results. So we're going to look at this actually in the system, but this is just a kind of a high-level overview of these workspaces. Similarly with dashboards, the thought behind this here, again, came directly from our clients. It can be really, really difficult to create a professional-looking, insightful report that you can provide to external parties. So you can use this internally as well, but a lot of times we'll see this being used externally with people like funders, board members, citizens, so that you can actually display this in a really digestible format out to members outside of your organization. And the key goals with this are to drive transparency, really engage stakeholders, be able to visualize data, and provide really easy customization options. So creating something like what we'll see when I pull up these dashboards can be really difficult if you don't have a tool in place. This tool allows us to really easily customize and create this in that super professional and visual format. And finally, we can also get insights enhanced by AI within here. So that was my quick introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and actually jump into it so that we can take a look at it within the system. And here, as I mentioned, just to outline this, I'm going to be in the tool for really a majority of this. I'm going to start looking at workspaces, then we'll jump into dashboards, and then I'll go through some other kind of bonus items within the system as well and kind of talk more about ClearPoint at large. So here, this is my workspace. So when I'm logged into the system, I am able to customize this and see it with all of the relevant information that I want to see pertinent just to me. And you're going to see here, this is super easy to navigate, super easy to look at. It's actually just a drag and drop across any of these items here. So I could switch around where these are located super easily. What we have at the top is my updates. This is just an example, like let's say on a quarterly basis, you need to come in and update some key measures and projects that you may be overseeing to finalize a report for your board. What I'm able to actually see within here, in this case, are the 6 key items that I am personally responsible for updating, as well as whether or not I've actually made that update. So I am able to actually just update any of these items directly from here and mark them as updated, just notifying, yep, the update's been made. This is good to go for the board report. So really easy to view and navigate around this update process. Going a little bit further here, we have this My Scorecard. This is putting all of the key items that you are either directly responsible for or that you own onto one view, or if you're collaborating on different projects, you can actually see that here. So in this case, I have a few of the items that I either own or am collaborating across directly on my page. Moving on, we have this My Favorites over here. This is going to go ahead and show any of the key pages we have that are marked as our favorite. Just for easy access, you're going to see I can really easily click into any of these to just open them up right from here. If I keep scrolling down, we have any of our key notifications. So anything that and again, these notifications are customizable. In this case, I have one set up that's going to show the key measures that I'm overseeing that have fallen below plan for this period, just to give me a notification on that. But we in practice see a lot of these notifications being used. Another example would be if a project has basically the current date has passed a project's end date, so it should be completed, but it's not. We can set up a notification for that. If you have been marked as somebody who should be collaborating on a project or even is assigned as the project lead, you can get a notification for that. They're all going to populate right on this page here. Kind of following the collaboration theme and how we can work together on this information, we have My Mentions. So I did just want to take a look really quick at how this works. So here we can see I'm responsible for kind of this percent of electronic health records. I'm going to go ahead and open this item up. We can see I'm the owner of it here, my ClearPoint support account. But let's say one of my people at my organization has some additional information to drop in here. So what they would be able to do is actually at me directly on this page and say, hey, really awesome results. Let's plan on going through this with the team next meeting. So they're directly adding me, and they can then go ahead and send that my way. And now when I go back into my workspace here, we're going to see, hey, really awesome results. Let's plan on going through this with the team next meeting. Super easy for me to just say, okay, awesome. Yep. Red, we're good. We'll go through it next meeting. So again, this is really just the thought here is to make this as collaborative as possible. Put this all directly on one page so you can see colleagues who may be mentioning you in this stuff. And finally, we have our exports over here, which are just the key reports and items that you may be exporting from the system for easy access right here. So this really is that workspace feature. Again, the whole thought behind this is to give you everything that you need on one page for super easy and quick access rather than having to navigate around to a bunch of different pages. And they are obviously tremendously customizable depending on how you want to view and interact with that. So I am now going to click into dashboards just to take a look at this. So the dashboards, as we talked about, are the way to share information out to external parties. And the thought behind this, again, just to reiterate, is that really creating these actionable, insightful, and kind of professional reports can be really time consuming if you don't have a good system set up to do so. So I wanted to show here what this actually looks like in practice. So here I have my dashboard that I want to publish out to, in this case, let's say it's citizens and council members for interest, for example. I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And what I'm able to see here is the template that I'm using. And as I make kind of changes to this, I'm actually going to see it change over here in real time, which makes this really, really easy to customize with your branding, your styling, and the content that you want. Just to show really how easy this is here, I'm going to go ahead and you'll see this is just the content page. This is where I'm selecting what's going to go into this. So we'll see here I have these different items that I want in here. Let's say, for instance, I didn't want fire department. Super easy to just remove it. It's going to remove right here in real time so I can see exactly what's in there and what isn't in there. And we can drill a little bit further. So within my Metropolis citywide level here, I'm able to see the key metrics that I'm going to be displaying out in this dashboard. Now, again, really, really easy to be like, okay, I want to include revenue. I want to go ahead and include expenses. So you can just add in exactly what you want. You're going to see it update in real time over on that right-hand side. And going even a step further here, we're able to click into any of these key metrics and further decide what we want reported out in association with these. So here we'll see we have some analysis in the description, but maybe I want to go ahead and add in recommendations. Really, really easy to go ahead and add that information in. And once all of my content is selected, we are able to further style this. Again, super, super easy to change around the styling on this. So you have the basically the font type. You can choose different text sizes, the title, switch around any of this. Just to show here, again, like status visibility, I could say, I don't want to display statuses. You'll see they just remove there in real time. So just to say, like, really easy to set this up with your branding and your styling. And finally, just following this example of, we want to update this kind of quarterly on a quarterly basis. So as citizens or council members come in, they're able to see the live updates there. We can actually schedule this to just update and pull in the information that's in the ClearPoint system on that quarterly basis. So we know it's always up to date without needing to kind of manually generate this. And here you're going to see, I could say, we want to run it today to start. And then we want to go ahead and set up a recurrence. So every, 3 months or every quarter, this is just going to update with that live information without me doing a thing, and give, obviously, citizens, council members, funders, board members, whoever you may be reporting out to, those up-to-date insights. And then just to show here, what does the end product look like? Again, we kind of saw it in there when I was editing the template, but you're going to see just a really nice visual dashboard for in this case, our city here. So we can see here, I'm able to click into any of these items to see more information. Here I can see my literacy rate. I can click in to get more analysis, more description, recommendations. Again, really easy to click through these measures. You get that nice visual format with customizable charts, as well as the analysis recommendations, description, or any other items that you would want to include within this dashboard. So really, again, just wanted to kind of show you this because it's a really good way to be able to build this nice professional public-facing component that you can share out with other members of your team. So I know we've walked through Workspaces, which show the really, really easy kind of process for putting all of your stuff on one page, really easily being able to make your updates throughout time, as well as that public-facing component. But we haven't really looked too much at the internal ClearPoint system. So I did want to take a look at that here now. So obviously, as the updates are being made here with this super easy workflow, the information is also pulling through in our internal ClearPoint system here. So here I just have an example. We're in ClearPoint Health. Underneath ClearPoint Health, we may have a few different kind of sections of the account here. I'm just going to go ahead and click into Chief Financial Officer. So just running with this example, if I am a Chief Financial Officer, I want to see kind of the key information for my finance office and how we're progressing with regards to our financials over at ClearPoint Health. What we have here is a view that's going to kind of give me all of the insights across our key metrics that we're tracking financially here at ClearPoint Health. So what I can see is our logo. If I keep scrolling down, we're going to have this view showing our key financial objectives. And then directly underneath it, you can really easily see the alignment across this objective. What are some of the metrics that we're tracking here that are in line with that? And how are they performing from month to month or quarter to quarter or year to year, accompanied by some further qualitative analysis and recommendations. So really easy to get the insights right here that I would need as kind of a chief financial officer or somebody who's interested in this financial information. We can view it in a more visual format. So here, just grabbing some visuals, just pulling through our key charts directly on one page here to view these. I can see a measure ownership report. So really, what are my key financial metrics and who's the person who's overseeing those? And then if I scroll down, we have a filtered report just saying, grab me everything from our finance office that is falling behind and put those kind of on one page here. This is just to give a sense for some of the stuff we can create. In practice, we help you all customize these views and reports depending on how you want to interact with this. But this is just kind of showing an example. And obviously, all of this stuff is kept live and up to date because those people going to that workspace are able to go ahead and update this, and it's all going to roll in here. One other piece I did want to show here is just for generating analysis or qualitative insights in the system. I can go ahead and use an AI assistant to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and flash this here. When I double click, we see an AI assistant pop up. I can go ahead and click this and just choose summarize my data. And what this AI is going to do is it's going to take a look at the key metrics and objectives I have in here and give me a summary of how they're performing in an executive summary. So really what's nice about that is it's going to take a look at all of these, spit out that qualitative update, and it really gets you from 0 to 90% of the way there. So rather than starting from scratch with a clean slate, you have some really nice qualitative analysis to work off of as you're writing that executive summary. So this was kind of a lot on the metric side, but I did also just want to show, I know we talked about kind of comprehensive strategy and performance management. We are also able to look at our key projects. So again, following this kind of finance example, I'm a chief financial officer. We don't just have key metrics, but we have projects we're working on that are going to drive forward progress on an ongoing basis. Here I can see across my whole portfolio in the finance department, how many projects do I have that are on schedule, slightly behind schedule, or falling behind schedule. As I scroll down, I can see some of my key project performance information. So here we can see the actual project being worked on, the budget, the start and end date, a percent complete, some qualitative analysis, as well as the key milestones or sub-steps that are going to go into me completing this. If I keep scrolling down, again, we have a project ownership report showing us what are our key projects, who's the person who's overseeing those. We have projects that are delayed or kind of falling behind schedule here, as well as some recommendations generated by AI to swing these in the right direction. And then we have a Gantt chart view down here, just showing a visual timeline across our whole portfolio. Once again, just like with the measures, we want to customize this based on how you want to view and interact with it. This is really just an example to give you a sense for how this can work. And then we can pull any of these views into one of those kind of public-facing dashboards to share out. We can pull them into PDF documents to be shared out with our team. So there's really a lot of ways that we can go about actually sharing this and scheduling it to go out to the relevant parties as well. And with that, so that was really everything I was looking to cover today. I know this was a little bit of an abbreviated demo here. We definitely didn't get to everything, but I'm going to go ahead and just pull up the Q&A chat now and take a look at some of these here. And I did want to say too, if I don't get to any of these right now, we'll be sure to follow up with you over email to give you an answer to some of these. So we had a question, will the recipient receive an email or notification when a message is at them in the mentions? Yeah, so that's a great question. That's actually completely up to how you want to receive it. So we can set it to go through Outlook. We can set it to go directly through Microsoft Teams. We do have a Teams integration if you would like both of those, but it will always display there in that My Notifications. So yeah, just to answer that, can go through Outlook, can go through Teams, or can, if you want to turn those both off so you don't receive the app mention, you can just see it in that notifications within the system. Okay, another good question here. As an example, so like the CFO homepage, where are the cells being pulled from? So again, I know this was an abbreviated demo. I didn't really dive into all of this, but I am just going to go ahead and click back in to show that quickly here. So you'll see here, there's various cells with data, the analysis and recommendations. Each item within the system does have a page dedicated to it where this is going to pull in from. So here, if I go ahead and I click into my operating margin, for instance, we're going to see it's being tracked in a data table. In this case, we just have an actual and a target value, but we can customize any of the data points you're looking to track. We can also pull this directly into the ClearPoint system from any database you may be using or Excel, or we can always just manually enter it. Super easy to do that as well. And again, when it's updated here, it's going to go ahead and update on those key reports, charts, and visuals that we have set up to actually view and interact with this. So that's kind of where this is pulling in from here on its page there. Yeah, so there's another question here. I noticed the quarters on the CFO page, we're pulling through the last kind of 3/4 of data instead of the last full year. That's super easy to customize here. We're able to just add in like Q1 directly on this report. Really, really easy to go ahead and do that directly in here as well. We could also change it. So instead of quarters, we have the last however many months you want to view or year over year. So it's completely customizable and really easy to change as well. Yeah, so these are all great questions. Can I customize the items shown on my workspace? You absolutely can. So that we really, again, we want that to be set up as your personal view. And depending on kind of how you're interacting with the tool and what you're managing, it's going to look different from person to person. You're able to remove any of the items you want to remove, add in any items that you would want to add. So just to show here, again, like let's say here, I don't necessarily want this my scorecard. I can go ahead and just say, go ahead and remove that from the page here. And Jeff, I do see your question in there. I'm gonna shoot you an email right after this with some of that, but just to show like one of them here. Oops. So this would be like an example of a generated report. This would be one of those kind of public facing ones here with some of the, again, some of the key focus areas, and we can drill in further to any of those. But actually, you know, while we're on here, I can just show this direct. Oops, sorry. And sorry, Jeff, just so everyone else knows too, the question was just, can we see some of the generated reports? So that's one example of the generated report with that link kind of live interactive. Another option here would be just through like a PDF type report. So again, just to show here, let's say we had a kind of a quarterly council report, quarterly board report. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up. In this case, again, the live link totally works. You're able to display that in a really interactive format. But here we have a PDF example, and we can see kind of a cover page that was attached. And then as I scroll down, we're going to see it's just going to look exactly like some of the pages from our ClearPoint system. So we're really easily able to pick and choose what we want to generate, and then actually have this just automatically generate on a recurring basis. It's got all clickable links in here to make this as easy as possible to navigate around. So we'll see some of the key, visuals, views, and reports that we have in the system in this generated report, all customized depending on your branding and styling with headers, footers, colors, and that sort of thing. So this is a really good way, again, to share out with members of your internal team kind of what the updates are going into any quarterly or monthly meetings you may have to discuss that. And Jeremy, that's a really good question. We will get back on that. The question was, can I push per user workspace customizations as an admin? I am going to get back to you on that there, Jeremy. So it looks like that. Yeah, so Jeremy, I can answer this one right here. So can I export a dashboard to PDF or include it as part of a briefing book? Absolutely. Here, we can grab any of the key reports or dashboards that you want and include it directly in the briefing book. But then on any page within the ClearPoint system, we are also able to just directly export this out to a PDF as well. So like here, maybe I just wanted to share this kind of CFO dashboard here. I can actually just export this direct to PDF singularly, or I can include this in one of my PDF briefing books. So I think that's all the questions, and that brings us right up to kind of time here. But I just wanted to say I really appreciate you all joining. I hope you kind of found this insightful and hopefully useful. And again, we'd love to talk further about how we can kind of partner with you on your journey to strategy execution and performance management. So thanks everyone for joining.